We chase after success, accumulate possessions, seek out relationships, believing that these external achievements will fill a void within us. Yet, for many, despite having everything, an unsettling sense of emptiness persists. It's not a lack of money or love or status, but a deeper, more profound disconnect. It's the echo of a soul yearning for something more, something authentic, something real. What if this emptiness isn't a sign of what you lack, but a signal pointing towards what you've overlooked? What if the solution isn't found in acquiring more, but in facing certain truths that lie hidden within? Let's explore 7 truths you must face to stop feeling empty. From a Buddhist perspective, the feeling of emptiness, or a sense of lack, often arises from our fundamental misunderstanding of reality, particularly the concept of sunyata, emptiness, itself. We mistakenly believe that happiness lies in external objects, people, or achievements, and we cling to these impermanent phenomena, creating a cycle of craving, tanha, and suffering, dukkha. The feeling of emptiness is often a symptom of this clinging, a signal that we are seeking fulfillment in places where it cannot be found. True fulfillment, the Buddha taught, comes from within, from understanding the interconnectedness and impermanence of all things, and from cultivating a deep connection with our own inherent wisdom and compassion. This isn't about filling a void, but realizing that the void itself is a gateway to profound understanding and liberation. By facing these truths, we begin to dismantle the illusions that keep us feeling disconnected and discover the richness that lies in simply being. Let's delve into these essential truths. 1. The truth of impermanence. Anicca, and nothing lasts forever. We build our lives on foundations we hope will last forever: relationships, careers, youth, material possessions. But the first truth is that everything is impermanent. The feeling of emptiness often arises when we cling to what is constantly changing, when we expect permanence in a world of flux. We feel empty when a relationship ends, a job is lost, or our youth fades, because we haven't fully embraced the truth of anicca. Facing this truth means acknowledging that joy, sorrow, success, and failure are all transient. It's not about becoming nihilistic, but about learning to appreciate each moment fully, knowing it will pass. When we stop resisting change and learn to flow with life's currents, the desperate need to fill ourselves with external, fleeting things diminishes. We find a deeper, more stable contentment in the present moment, rather than chasing after an illusion of permanence. 2. The truth of suffering. Dukkha. Life involves discomfort. The second truth is that life, by its very nature, involves suffering or dissatisfaction. Dukkha. This isn't about being pessimistic, but realistic. We often feel empty because we are constantly trying to avoid discomfort, pain, and challenge. We seek endless pleasure and comfort, and when life inevitably presents difficulties, we feel a profound sense of lack or injustice. Facing this truth means understanding that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It's our resistance to pain, our craving for things to be different, that creates the emptiness. When we learn to acknowledge and even embrace discomfort as a natural part of existence, we stop feeling empty from the absence of constant pleasure. We develop resilience and inner strength, realizing that true fulfillment comes not from avoiding pain, but from skillfully navigating it with wisdom and compassion. This allows us to connect with a deeper wellspring of peace that transcends external circumstances. 3. The truth of non-self. Anatta. There is no fixed self. We often feel empty because we are desperately trying to solidify a fixed, permanent self, an ego, an identity, that is constantly being threatened by the impermanence of life. The third truth, anatta, non-self, is perhaps the most liberating. It reveals that there is no fixed, unchanging, independent self. What we perceive as self is a constantly changing collection of physical and mental phenomena. The feeling of emptiness often arises from the futile attempt to solidify this fluid, interconnected process. Facing this truth means releasing the burden of maintaining a rigid identity. It allows us to embrace our fluidity, our interconnectedness with all beings, and to find a profound sense of belonging not in a separate self, but in the vast, interconnected web of existence. When we stop trying to be something fixed, we discover the boundless freedom of simply being. 4. The truth of attachment. Upadana, clinging creates suffering. We often feel empty because we are constantly chasing after things, people, or experiences, believing that if we just acquire or hold on to them, we will be complete. This is the truth of upadana, attachment or clinging. It's not the things themselves that cause emptiness, but our clinging to them, our belief that our happiness depends on them. When these things inevitably change or are lost, we feel a profound void. Facing this truth means recognizing that true contentment comes not from having, but from releasing the need to have. It's about cultivating non-attachment, which doesn't mean detachment or indifference, but a deep understanding that nothing external can truly fill an internal void. When we release our grip, we create space for genuine joy and peace to arise from within, independent of external circumstances. This allows us to engage with life fully, appreciating its gifts without being enslaved by them. 5. The truth of craving. Tanha desire is a bottomless pit. Closely linked to attachment is tanha, craving or insatiable desire. We often feel empty because we are caught in a relentless cycle of wanting more, believing that the next achievement, the next possession, the next relationship will finally bring lasting satisfaction. But craving is a bottomless pit. It can never be truly filled. The moment one desire is met, another arises, leaving us perpetually wanting and ultimately empty. Facing this truth means recognizing the illusory nature of endless desire. It's about cultivating contentment, santuthi, and mindfulness, sati, of our desires, observing them without immediately acting on them. When we understand that true happiness doesn't come from fulfilling every craving, but from transcending craving itself, the feeling of emptiness begins to dissipate. We discover the profound richness of the present moment, finding joy in what is, rather than constantly chasing what isn't. 6. The truth of interconnectedness. Paticcasamuppada, we are not separate. The feeling of emptiness often stems from a profound sense of isolation, a belief that we are separate, disconnected entities in a vast, indifferent universe. The sixth truth, paticcasamuppada, dependent origination or interconnectedness, reveals that nothing exists in isolation. Everything arises in dependence on other things. We are inextricably linked to all beings, to nature, to the entire cosmos. Facing this truth means dismantling the illusion of separation. It's about recognizing that our well-being is deeply intertwined with the well-being of others. When we cultivate karuna, compassion, and metta, loving-kindness, towards all beings, we transcend the narrow confines of self and experience a boundless sense of connection. The emptiness that arises from perceived isolation dissolves into a profound sense of belonging and purpose, knowing that we are an integral part of something far greater than ourselves. 7. The truth of ignorance. Avijja, the root of all suffering. Ultimately, the deepest truth we must face is avijja, ignorance. Not a lack of intellectual knowledge, but a fundamental misunderstanding of the true nature of reality, particularly the truths of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. This ignorance is the root cause of our craving and attachment, and thus, our feeling of emptiness. We feel empty because we are looking for fulfillment in the wrong places, driven by a distorted view of ourselves and the world. Facing this truth means embarking on a journey of panna, wisdom, and vipassana, insight meditation. It's about diligently observing our experiences, questioning our assumptions, and seeing things as they truly are, free from the distortions of our conditioned mind. When the light of wisdom shines, the shadows of ignorance dissipate, and with them, the pervasive feeling of emptiness. We discover a profound, inherent fullness that has always been present, obscured only by our own lack of clear seeing. The feeling of emptiness is not a curse, but a profound invitation. It is a signal from your deepest self, urging you to look inward, to question your assumptions, and to seek fulfillment not in the fleeting external world, but in the timeless truths of existence. By courageously facing these 7 truths, impermanence, suffering, non-self, attachment, craving, interconnectedness, and ignorance, you embark on a transformative journey. You begin to dismantle the illusions that keep you feeling disconnected and discover the profound, inherent fullness that resides within. This is not about filling a void, but realizing that the void itself, when understood through the lens of wisdom, is the very space from which true peace, joy, and connection can arise. It is the path from a life of chasing to a life of being, from emptiness to boundless well-being. Which of these truths resonates most deeply with your current experience of emptiness? And what is one small step you can take today to begin facing it with courage and wisdom? If this exploration has resonated with you, please consider subscribing to the Noble Wisdom Path. Share this video with someone who might benefit from this perspective, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Together, let's walk the path towards inner peace and true freedom.